The mountains of Rayaska were not meant for humans. The winds cut like diamond shards. The snow glowed blue under 3 moons. And at the very peak lived a being the galaxy whispered about, but never dared approach. Serinthrax, the Great, the Dragon Woman, the last of the Sky-Mothers. To most species, she was a myth. To the human veteran, Captain Elias Ward, she was his final mission. He didn't want medals. He didn't want glory. He only wanted peace, something he hadn't tasted since the Human-Vorak War ended 3 years ago. But instead of peace, he climbed freezing cliffs while carrying a pack heavier than his armor. Each step burned. Each breath stabbed his lungs. And still, he climbed, because hidden inside a government report was a line that stabbed his conscience. Sky Mother Serinthrax displays behavior consistent with terminal loneliness. Species extinction imminent. Elias knew loneliness. He lived in it. He slept with it. It ate him from the inside more viciously than any alien claw, so he went. Not as a soldier, not as an ambassador, but as a man who refused to let another living being die alone. The cave of the Sky Mother reached the summit on the 7th day. A storm raged across the peak, lightning painting the clouds in violent white. The cave mouth was large enough for a cruiser to fly into, glowing from internal bioluminescent stone. Elias stepped inside. Heat washed over him, gentle and inviting, like stepping into a living heartbeat. Then he heard it, a low, ancient growl, not of danger, of sorrow. Come closer, human. Her voice was deep, resonant, vibrating the stone beneath his boots. Elias walked forward. He had trained for war. He had marched through fire, but nothing prepared him for the sight before him. Serinthrax rested on a throne of obsidian. Her body was serpentine, wrapped in glowing scales the color of molten gold. Her wings folded like living tapestries, horns curved like crescent moons, and her eyes older than civilizations, burning with hunger, not for food, for connection, for touch, for someone. She inhaled deeply, tasting his scent, the cold, the blood, the human warmth, and then she whispered the words that would haunt the galaxy. I'm starving. For the touch of a man. Her voice trembled. Not in lust. In desperation, the kind only the last of a species could understand. Elias does not run most men would have run. Most would have fainted. Most would have begged for mercy. Elias did none of those things. He removed his gloves. His hands were scarred, burned, stitched, but steady. I came because no one deserves to die alone, he said softly. Her eyes widened huge, ancient, shimmering. You would touch me without fear. She asked. I would touch anyone who needed it. A silence fell heavy and fragile. Then Serinthrax lowered her massive head forward. Her scales glowed brighter. Her breath warmed the air like a summer sunset. Then, let me feel you. Just once, Elias placed his palm on her snout. The world changed. Her scales were warm, not like metal, warm like skin, warm like life. She shuddered. A tremor that traveled down her entire colossal body. Emotion rippled through her like fire. For 10,000 years, the Sky Mothers lived fierce and proud. They conquered storms. They shaped mountains. They guarded continents, but they had never been touched by a human, never been comforted, never been held, never known kindness from a species smaller than their claws. Serinthrax closed her eyes, exhaling a sound that was half sob, half prayer. This is what I hungered for, she whispered. not flesh, not blood, not mating, just a hand. A human hand. The reason she called him after a long moment, she spoke again, voice softer than snow. Human veteran. Elias Ward. Do you know why your scent called me across the stars? He frowned. My scent? Yes. She opened her massive golden eyes. It carries grief. Deep grief. You have lost more than I have. He stiffened. No one has lost more than a dying species. You have, she said gently. Because unlike me, you still walk among your people. Yet you feel alone. His heart clenched. The war, the soldiers he couldn't save. The child crying in an evacuation shelter. The woman who waited for him and didn't survive. Sarinthrax inhaled again. That sadness, it feeds me. Not in cruelty. In resonance. You and I are the same. Lonely, he whispered. Yes. The Banshee lowered her head further until her forehead touched his. A dragon woman and a human veteran, two broken beings, searching for warmth in a freezing galaxy. Elias. Stay a while, she said. Speak with me. Let the walls inside you soften. Let me remember, for a moment, what it feels like not to be the last. He sat against her warm scales. She curled her body protectively around him, shielding him from the cold. For hours they spoke. She told him of the Sky Mother songs that once shook mountains, of a mate lost to celestial storms, of eggs that never hatched, of children she would never raise. He told her of battlefields, of soldiers who died calling his name, of nights he woke from nightmares, screaming, of how humans celebrated victory while he drowned in guilt. And slowly, slowly, the hunger inside her changed. Loneliness faded. Warmth grew, not romantic, not sexual, soul-deep companionship. The purest HFY bond. The choice when dawn broke and the storms cleared. Elias stood to leave, but Sarinthrax blocked the exit with her tail. You healed me, she said quietly. Now let me heal you. How? Stay with me. Teach me your people. Let me protect you as you protected me. You are alone in your world, and I am alone in mine. But together, her golden eyes softened. Together we can build something new. Ilias looked out at the horizon, at the endless snow, at the future that terrified him less than the past. Then he placed his hand on her warm scales once more. I'll stay, Sarinthrax exhaled, a deep, trembling breath. The last Sky Mother was no longer alone, and neither was the human who climbed a mountain to save her. This was not the end. Asterisk.